Let's take a tour of the Digital Maine Library. You can get there by going to library.digitalmaine.org. When you get to the site and scroll down, you'll see that there are all kinds of different resources for just about any research you could imagine doing. What we're going to do today is look at two different kinds of resources, and we'll start out by looking at these filters here. One thing you can do is filter out your sources by the type of subject that you're looking for. For example, agriculture, there are two sources that specialize in agriculture. You can also look at a specific type of resource, for example, encyclopedias. And you can filter it by the audience. If I choose teen and high school, what that will do is filter out some of the things that are designed for younger students. Let's go to the World Book Advanced. As you can see, this is good for teens and high school students, college, public educators, etc. The site may have asked you for your location, as mentioned in our course. Because I've been on the site already today, it hasn't asked me for the location. So the first thing I'm going to do is type in my topic, which is fertilizer, hit enter. It has brought me 255 different encyclopedia articles that contain the word fertilizer, but the first one is actually about fertilizer, so I'm going to take a peek at that. I'd like to show you a few tools that are available here. One of them is read aloud. Now, it may seem kind of strange to you to have an encyclopedia article read aloud to you, but if it's a new topic to you and you're not really familiar with all of the terms, it might be helpful to actually have it read aloud to you as you read along. And you can choose several different voices and how fast the person talks. And so if you'd like to have a female voice who speaks fast, you can even choose which female you'd like to use. Then you can click on read aloud.
Fertilizer is a substance that is added to soil to help plants grow.
So you can actually have it read the whole article to you if you'd like. So that's a kind of cool tool that might help you with your reading comprehension. One of the other things you can do is double click on a word to get its definition. Search for nutrients. And so instead of having to go off to some other website to find the definition of a word you're unfamiliar with, it's right here. Now at the bottom of this article is the contributor, so the person who actually wrote the article. That might be helpful to you if you're looking to reach out to them, for example, or look for more articles that they've written in scientific journals. And you can also use these citations here directly in your science fair project. So depending on whether you're using the MLA or the APA or the Harvard, you can copy. And what I've done is created a document here where I pasted this potential citation. I might use this in my paper, so I want to keep track of all of the citations so that I'm not hunting around later on for articles that I've read in the past but didn't keep track of. So as you read the article, you'll want to capture some key terms, and you can also keep track of those even in the same Google Doc if you'd like I've done here, written down some terms that I think might be helpful when I'm doing more research. Let's go back to the Digital Maine Library. And the first one in the list is the Academic OneFile, which is a collection of scientific journal articles from all different sources. And I think that's a great place to go to find more in-depth information. And now I'm just going to start right out by searching fertilizer again. So I have 3,155 academic journal articles. I could also look at magazine articles, I could look for books, etc. These are only the articles that have the full text available. So you'll see over here on the right-hand side where it says full text documents. If I uncheck that, I'll get even more articles. But what this does, having this turned on, is that any article I find on here, I have access to the entire article. Sometimes journals have articles where you can see the abstract or the summary, but then you need to pay to actually see the article, or you need to go to a library and actually get the article there. And so this makes it a lot easier. You have all of the full texts right at your fingertips. If you want to find something that was, maybe within the past year or during a certain date range, you could use date published. You can filter by subject. So for example, if I'm interested in articles about soil microbiology, I can choose that and then scroll down, click apply. It will sort of narrow my topic there. But I'm going to undo that for now. And then you can also look for the Lexile measure. So this is your reading level. So if you know actually what your Lexile measure is and you want to find articles that are within your range for your reading level, then this would be really helpful for you. I want to show you the topic finder. It's pretty cool. I'm going to close out of that subject right there, get rid of that. Okay, so this topic finder on the right hand side uses something in computer science that we call association rules, where it's basically saying, okay, so in all the articles that include the word fertilizer, these are the other words that tend to come up most frequently. And one of the things I'm interested in is how fertilizer affects the soil, and particularly the microbiology within the soil. So again, these are search terms that are related to fertilizers and soil. And if I click on soil microbiology, you can see over here that what it's doing is it's giving me articles that are like really narrowed into that topic. So I'm going to click on this article, short-term fertilizer application. And here's the article. It's quite long. It might even be kind of intimidating, but I want to show you a few tools that will help you get through it. First off, if you want to cite this article, this little button in the toolbar at the top will give you the citation that you can use, and you can choose one of these three types. Okay, so you can copy that and put it in your Google Doc. You can download the article. If you want to share this with someone, let's say you're working with a partner, instead of copying this up here, which is just a temporary link, you should go to Get Link in the upper right and copy that link and send it to them instead. Now you can see that I've got some highlights in here, and the way you highlight a term is to double click it, and then you can choose to either highlight or you can choose to put a note about it. So I don't know what temporal means. So what does this mean? You can hit save. And I've also saved some different highlights. Maybe you have some color coding that you want to use. This is a really important thing that I wanted to note. And all of these things that I highlight and put notes on actually show up in the upper right where it says highlights and notes. So I can open that up when I click on it, and you can see all my different notes. You can view all of them. And if you sign in here with your Google or your Microsoft account, then it will save it for you, and you can keep track of all of your research that you're doing. So as you read through the article, there's a lot of information here, and we will provide some resources for how to actually read a scientific journal article. But for now, let's take a look all the way down at the bottom. Once the article is done, you'll see that there is a list of keywords here, which I have already copied and pasted into my document. You can see the affiliation of the different authors. So if you need to actually contact one of them, you could try to reach out to them through their university, wherever they work. Another thing that's really helpful is the data availability. So some articles actually have the data that they used available to you. It may or may not be useful, and when you go to this site here, it allows you to download the files, and you might look at it and have no idea what the information is if they didn't give you a description of what everything means. But you could find something really, really useful. These are all of the references that the people who wrote the article used. So you might refer to some of these articles in your research. Lots of references. Again, you can cite it right here. And let's just go back up to the top, because there are, I believe, 4 authors on this paper. And you can see up at the top here, you can actually click on, it's actually more than 4 authors, you can click on the author, and it will bring you to all the articles that that person has written that's in this database. And so that could be another great place to get more information about the topic, or maybe something that's more up to date. So that's all we have today for the Digital Maine Library. Hopefully these things have helped you and will give you a good footing when you do your background research. Good luck.